Hi everyone, Amy here, and today I have some 3D embossed stencil goodness to share with you. So let's jump right in. This is the gorgeous new Wave Cloud. It's a 6x6 stencil from a Colorful Life Designs. I'm going to use it with some mini ink pads from Catherine Pooler from the Spa collection, and I will show you a photo of the direction that we're going. This really came together so quickly, and I'm so pleased with how it turned out. So here's a photo of the finished card. You can see it has loads of detail from that beautiful stencil, bright colors from the inks, and then the 3D embossing just really takes it over the top. So here I'm starting with some very simple ink blending. I know I want to use kind of purples and greens here, but I'm not entirely sure how it's going to end up. So I'm kind of just winging it, coming in on the corners, creating almost like a vignette with this really pretty purple color. And I'm using my blending brushes from the Rabbit Hole Designs. So featuring some women-owned businesses here. We got Catherine Pooler, obviously, a Colorful Life Designs, which you guys know I'm always singing their praises. That's a small woman-owned business in Texas, and she manufactures all these stencils herself. So when you support her, you're supporting a small woman-owned business, so you can feel good about that. But anyway, I'm just going to load up this stencil here. I kind of have it kicked off to the side of the composition, and I am working right on a card panel of 120-pound accent opaque cardstock. So I'm going to mask off these areas here so I don't get ink where I don't want it, but I am going to do this ink blending with the kind of greenish colors within this stencil. Now you can see I kind of faded the purple into white just because purple and green probably aren't necessarily going to get along because they're opposite on the color wheel, so I don't want to create a muddy color. So that's where I kind of deliberately went a little bit lighter handed as I moved towards that part of the card panel. So I'm coming in with this lighter color green to start kind of just filling in the whole area, and then I will come in with that darker green color just to really kind of give it some visual interest and dimension by creating darker and lighter spots. So I'm using the same blending brush. I do have a set, I get asked this often, but I have a set of these blending brushes that I use for my dye inks, and then I have a separate set for my Distress Oxides, which if you're familiar, they have some pigment components and they tend to gunk up my brushes. So I will use this set of brushes with all of my dye inks, whether it's Distress inks or Catherine Pooler or any other dye sort of ink I will use with these blending brushes, and I have one for each color family. So here I came in with another color just to kind of add a little bit more of a blue look to it rather than green, and I removed the stencil to create this gorgeous design. So now I'm kind of laying down this bluish color over the purple just to kind of give it even more drama, if you will, and then I'm also going to kind of lightly ink blend over the stenciling just so that the white isn't so dramatic and it kind of tones it down a little bit. So I grabbed those green blending brushes, or that green blending brush, and just kind of light-handed went over this just to kind of tone it down. But I love the white glow in between where the purple goes into the green. I feel like it gives it almost like a halo glowing effect. So I did cut this panel down with a stitched edge rectangle die. It did make it slightly smaller. Now here's where I'm really going to bring in the drama. So if you're going to die cut and emboss, do your die cutting first, because if you run an emboss panel through your die cutting machine to cut out like a stitched edge, then you're going to crush down some of that gorgeous design that you just got. So if you're die cutting and embossing, always remember, die cut first and then emboss. And look at this amazing texture from that angled Mosaics 3D embossing folder. Now I just need to figure out how I'm going to finish the card. I don't really know what it's going to be turned into at this point, so I'm flipping through my options. This is my storage solution for my die cuts. So maybe it's a birthday card, maybe it's a congrats card. At this point, I don't know. I'm just kind of playing around. So these are baseball card pockets. They hold a lot of these. When I get new dies, I tend, if I remember or get to them quickly, I'll kind of add them into this stockpile of components that are ready to go. Now all these are Pink Fresh Studio. I think they're called Perfect Sentiments, but I will link all the products that I used in the video description box below. If you expand and scroll down, you'll find those details. Add a little bit of purple blingage and added it directly to a card base. That's A2 size, so US A2, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and that's going to finish the card. So thank you so much for spending time with me today. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, please hit the thumbs up, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.